Hello my lovely friends, my name is Rue, how do you do? Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a video, this concept that I haven't done on my channel in a while that I used to do a lot, and it's the what did I call them? Autie chit chats, or I don't remember, but it'll be in the thumbnail or whatever. But I wanted to talk about travel, which I do realize the past two videos I've made have been about travel. Can you tell? I'm a little fixated on this topic. But I thought I would talk about like my experience traveling as an autistic person in their 30s. Actually, I wanna tap on my passport first. Because honestly, if you don't have a passport, maybe you should get one. Just as like an emergency thing, like if you need to leave the country or something. That's how I think. I know it's kind of expensive, but it does last like 10 years? 10 years? Is it 10 or 20? I think it's 10. Anyways, so I recently just got back from Cancun, Mexico, and earlier in the year we went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. I don't feel like I really talked about that experience in depth. And then a few years ago we went to the UK. And I love traveling, I love going places, I love seeing things, but that doesn't change the fact that like it's very hard on me. And I wanted to talk about that for anyone that can relate. So particularly okay, I will say traveling is much harder when I'm traveling with people other than my partner, especially like if they have a large say in like what we're doing, and I don't have like a lot of control over the schedule. That's very hard. And that's kind of how it was when we went to the UK. Like we kind of just went wherever. I went wherever they told me to go, basically, and it was like very, very fast paced. Like we saw a lot of stuff in a very little amount of time, which I'm really grateful for, and I'm glad I got to see everything. But I know at the time it was a lot. It was a lot for me. And like in theory I enjoyed it, but at the same time I think I was just like overstimulated the whole time. And yeah, it was just like a lot, and like staying in unfamiliar places and not like really being in charge of like where I'm staying, or like being able to research what it's like beforehand, or like just things being out of my control is very difficult. So that trip was difficult for that reason. And then Costa Rica, incredible trip, but I had so many problems like with my health, like to the point where I was like scary. I'm gonna tap on like travel items that I took. I bought these specifically to sleep in. They're like, you know, ear defenders, but they're like not as bulky. They were a lifesaver. But I feel like I'll talk about this stuff after I talk about my experiences. So these sound really good. Costa Rica was like incredible, amazing trip, but I was having issues like the whole time, and it started out on the very first day, the travel day, which was like insanely long and exhausting, and just by the end of the day, there was like nothing in me. But I was having a lot of heart palpitations and like skipping, and like it felt like my heart was very erratic. And for context, prior to when we left, I had a doctor's appointment and they had found a heart murmur. So I was like, awesome, like my heart is doing some weird stuff. So that happened the whole way down to Costa Rica, like 4-hour flight. I was not sitting with my partner, and it was horrible because I'm just like fighting for my life the whole time. It was not fun because I didn't know what to do if something bad happened. I was like on the window seat with two people I didn't know there, and I like felt like I couldn't get enough oxygen, and like I don't know, my heart was just very elevated. And like the main thing that was concerning to me was it was flipping, like it was doing weird stuff. So yeah, that was not fun. And then we landed, and it was like very stressful because we didn't know what to do and like how things worked, and we had to get our rental car and eat somewhere and drive to our Airbnb, which is a 3-hour drive, and driving is different in another country, and it was like crazy. And we got to our Airbnb and it was dark, and it was like we went the wrong way. We went up this giant cliff and it was really scary. And we eventually got to our house and it was dark and we didn't have any food. We had not eaten since lunchtime. According to my Garmin, I had burned like 1,200 calories, like on top of, you know, my normal calories. We had some like granola bars and crackers and stuff, but we didn't want to like go out in the dark in like a place we didn't know, so we were just like, I don't know, we're gonna eat what we have. Anyways, that night, like I was literally like having tremors in my body, and like my whole body was just like shaking. And that night I had more weird heart stuff going on, and that was not fun. Anyways, to simplify, I was having these things throughout like the whole trip. And near the end it kind of was like less so, thankfully. But it was not fun, it was scary because like the first part of the trip we were like in this very like isolated area that was like probably a few hours from a doctor, you know? So I'm like having these issues and I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do, so if I die here, I die. But I won't get too into it because it would be like its own, I've already talked so much. But I had an echocardiogram and they said nothing was wrong with my heart. I still get heart palpitations sometimes, but I haven't had anything happen to that extreme. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that because my nervous system is so sensitive, I think just the stress of travel just really is super hard on my body. And it causes all these things to happen. Thankfully, Cancun went much better. I didn't have these problems on the flight. Well, actually, I did have some vertigo. I think it was the second flight, which was the one to Cancun. We took off and I got like a really intense bout of vertigo, which is not like uncommon for me. I do get vertigo a decent amount. ever since a certain other health thing that happened to me. But basically, it's when that happens to me, it just feels like if you've had vertigo, you probably know what I mean, where it's like the world is sort of like leaning one way or something. So that started happening, and I started feeling weird, and then my heart started like racing. I think probably just because I was like panicking because something weird was happening, and I was once again seated alone. This time on the inner seat, which I kind of like am wondering if that's why I got vertigo, like because the plane is moving weird and I couldn't see like outside. Hypothesis, I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't nearly as bad. I was really exhausted from travel, and you know, I needed to like not do anything the next day because I just get so like travel is just so hard on my body. Like I think my partner would have been fine like going and doing something the next day, but I was like, no, we're hanging around the hotel, we're going swimming, we're going to the ocean. That's all I can do today. And then near the end of the week though, I had more vertigo. Which I don't know. So we were on a boat and in the ocean, and I feel like that was part of it because my body was still like felt like it was moving or something, but it lasted a few days after that. And also my heart rate was just a little more elevated. And I think the week was just sort of like catching up to me, and my body was like just at its limits, you know. So I was getting the vertigo and stuff, so I took meds. Which I haven't had to take my meds very much lately, but it's there when I need it. So anyways, the point I'm making is I've realized that travel is extremely hard on me, and I think it's because I have a very sensitive nervous system and just a sensitive body in general. So sorry I've been talking your ear off. The other part of the video I wanted to do was like my tips for travel. Which I haven't scripted anything. So it may be chaotic, but number one, I would say do a lot of research, do a lot of planning. You know, make sure you know how things work in this country, what exactly you need to do, what's your accommodation going to be like, what do you need to bring to feel like you're at home, you know, and comfortable. And obviously, a lot of times you're going to have to sacrifice some of that comfort because you can't bring everything with you unless you're like someone who's going to travel really heavy, which like if that's something you want to do, then by all means. But we always, you know, we don't want to pay for extra baggage, so I have to figure out like what I need to bring and what can be sacrificed. So I would recommend making lists, doing lots of research, watching YouTube videos to like actually see what the place is like. Very helpful. We watch a lot of YouTube videos. And yeah, just a lot of planning, you know, make sure you're packing in advance so you know all of your stuff fits, and yeah, you know, talk to people online that have been there, done that. Just gather as much information as possible just so you have in your mind what you need to do, what you need to know, what it's going to be like, so it's not as much of a surprise. It's probably still going to be a little startling and stressful, but you know, you can prepare as much as possible. Make sure you have your passport if you're leaving the country. Also, it takes a while to get your passport if you didn't know, so make sure you do that in advance. things that I like to bring with me when I travel: hand sanitizer. Because, like, I'm someone that's kind of grossed out by the airplane, and like anytime I touch something, I'm like, oh, my hand is contaminated. So I like to bring hand sanitizer and just like put it in the pocket, and then anytime I need to like eat or drink or something, I can just sanitize my hands. So if you're kind of like a germaphobe, would recommend. I know it's like it takes up space in your like liquids or whatever, but to me it's worth it. And then you can also bring like sanitizing wipes to like clean off the plane seat and the table and everything as well. Next, things for noise control. Headphones. Noise canceling headphones are a must on the plane. And then I have a variety of like things to cancel noise that I bring with me. Mainly for sleeping, because like I'm a very light sleeper. I'm very sensitive to sound, and I need like as much noise canceling power as I can get. So I bought these this time for Cancun, and they were a game changer. Basically all they are, and I know I mentioned these already, they're ear defenders, but they like wrap around your head, and they have this like elastic band. They also came with a head, like a face mask, which I didn't need. I don't like to sleep with a face mask because I like to be woken up by the sun and everything. But they're kind of like thinner. So I'm a side sleeper, and I thought they would probably be uncomfortable. They weren't actually that bad. Like I could like squish them into the pillow and like I could fall asleep and it didn't bother me. So my main thing is my partner snores. We normally sleep in separate bedrooms for a variety of reasons. And that's how I sleep best. But like when you're on vacation, like you can't always afford to get like 2 bedrooms. So this time we had 2 beds. So I slept as far away from him as possible. That sounds terrible. And then what I did is I wear these these are my sleep headphones. I wear them at night to listen to ASMR. And that's normally all I need at home because my house is quiet and I have a fan running and all this stuff, you know. So I put those on, and then I put these over top of them. And it was amazing. I did not hear him snore like at all. He didn't wake me up ever, which is incredible. I still I don't sleep good on vacation in general. I usually wake up like way earlier than I normally would. I guess because I'm just in a foreign sleep environment. But these were amazing because normally if I sleep near him, he's keeping me up the whole night and I can't sleep and it's horrible. So if you have that problem, I would really recommend these. They're great. Like obviously not like super comfortable, but I have tried to sleep in these in past trips and these are very uncomfortable. So these were a huge upgrade, and I was able to sleep, which is great. And I'm gonna bring them on all our trips going forward. You could also use them on the airplane, you know, like amazing. I also brought these, which are also noise canceling earbuds. I didn't use them on this trip, but I just like to have options, you know. And I also like to bring earplugs. These are also great for like, you can layer them under your headphones, you know. If you don't like things going in your ears or on your ears, I don't know how to help you, but I tend to like layer things, you know. Would also recommend like downloading music or podcasts or something for the plane ride, because these don't block out all the sound, but like if you have something playing, you know, it helps. What is this called? A charger, external charger, very helpful to have. This is just like a little one, and I brought it, and I did use it actually. So like if you get up early and use your phone a lot, and then you get there and your phone, your battery's dying, very helpful. So would recommend. You could also, if you're on a longer flight or something and you want to try to sleep, you could bring a face mask, which I haven't done, but maybe if I was doing like a really long flight where I wanted to try to sleep, which like I don't sleep on airplanes, could be helpful. These are really nice. They're the Manta sleep mask. This one has Bluetooth. They sent it to me. It's so nice. What else? Wait. Oh. Bring your meds. It's important. I took the sticker off so I could use it in the video. These are my propranolol, which I don't think I've talked about much on this channel, but I made a video about it on my second channel. And I was meaning to make more videos, but I never did. Anyways, it's beta blockers for anxiety. These are amazing. I didn't use them on the first part of our Cancun trip, but I did use them at the end when I was like really, on my last threads of energy. I used it for the travel day going home, which I probably should have used it going there, but I do try to like use it sparingly. But yeah, if you have meds, make sure you bring your meds. Important. If you get like anxiety, if you're flying and you have anxiety meds, that's what they're there for. What else do I have? I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. Bring items that will make you comfortable, even if they're weird. So, okay, I sleep with a stuffed animal every night, and I have actually brought my stuffed shark to both the UK and Costa Rica. Like, I made it work, but at Cancun, we could only travel with a personal item, so he wouldn't fit. So I found a workaround. I brought a pillowcase, and then when I was there, I stuffed the pillowcase so that I would still have something to like hold on to. And you could argue that I could just do that with a pillow at the hotel, but that would just gross me out because I don't want to like cuddle with something that I don't necessarily know is like super clean. So I brought my own pillowcase and made a makeshift stuffed animal to cuddle with. And then, like, for example, like my morning routines feel very important, and I typically drink this like tea that is made with like these flavor drop things, and it's in a little container that's within the liquid requirements. So I put that in with my liquid so that I could have it in the morning, which like you would say like you don't need to do that, but like if it brings me a little bit of comfort and I can do it, then just do it. But that's kind of my motto. Like, if it makes sense to you, if it's gonna make you more comfortable, if you can make it work where you can bring it with you, bring it with you. Like, oh, you know what else? This is just a general travel thing. So since we were traveling with only a personal item, which was just a backpack, we couldn't bring a lot of stuff. I bought a fishing vest, which has a lot of pockets on it. So anything extra, I just put in the pockets. And it works. Like, if it's on your body and it's not like crazy excessive or something, like, you're good, you know? Like, gosh, I'm sure there's more. Bring your charging cords. I always make sure I have chargers for everything because I'm always terrified something will die. Yeah, I mean, that's just general what I can think of. I'm sure I'll remember something else that I wanted to say after I shut the camera off, but that's just how it goes. Anyways, I think the point I'm trying to make is, like, travel is very difficult. Maybe for everyone. But I think being autistic, I have realized that it is quite difficult on me. But the reward of, like, getting to see new places and experience new things is worth it. But it does take, like, a big toll on my body and my energy and all of that. I would also recommend, if you can, after the vacation, taking several days off afterwards to recover from the vacation. That's what I did this week, and if I had not, it would have been bad times. Like, it literally took me like 3 full days to begin feeling normal again. Because we had a crazy, like, it was just a long travel day. Anyways, I think the synopsis of the video, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's probably worth it for many people. Do your research, like, gather as much information as you possibly can, watch videos, look at pictures, read people's experiences. Also, just expect that you're going to be uncomfortable, because you probably are. But that's kind of just a part of it. And also, like, building in time to just, like, downtime to recover from activities. Like, you don't have to be doing stuff every second of every day. You can have time where you're just chilling in the hotel or reading a book or whatever, because, you know, it takes a lot out of you. And everyone likes to travel differently. Some people like to do lots of stuff. Maybe you just want to chill, walk around, you know, and that's okay. Also, travel with people you're comfortable with. Yeah, anyways, this is a long video, I feel like, and I've just been rambling, and it's been all over the place, but I hope it was helpful. I don't know. If you have any experiences, like travel experiences or tips or tricks, please leave them in the comments. We're going to Portugal in May for 2 weeks. It's gonna be great. It'll be hectic, but it'll be great. So I'm gonna start planning that trip soon, and like paying for Airbnbs and stuff. I'm like obsessed with traveling currently. Anyways, thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. You're doing amazing. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for hanging out on my channel today, and I will see you in the next video. Okay,